Hello everyone and good afternoon from one of the great heartlands of English rugby, the West Country, the Wreck, a bastion of history, legacy and right now home of the runaway Gallagher Premiership leaders. Today as the promised land of Twickenham and the competition showpiece glimmers ever closer on the horizon, it is top against bottom as Bath Rugby hosts Newcastle Falcons here in the West Country. Bath very much the team to beat this season, and with 4 rounds to go as the Abbey peers over the stadium, the league table shows the extent of their dominance. A victory today of any kind will rubber stamp their place in the top 4. A bonus point win will confirm they will finish top of the log. Newcastle have broken the losing streak, 2 wins, a couple more near misses, but still waiting for a victory on the road, close to 900 days since their last away win in the Gallagher Premiership. So that is the lie of the land, and we can hear now from the men at the helm, the men preparing for battle in Bath today. The Newcastle Director of Rugby, Steve Diamond, and First Bath's Head of Rugby, Johan van Graan. Well, Johan, you know that a win today would rubber stamp your place in the semi-finals. A bonus point win could see you secure top spot in the Premiership as well. How excited are you and the squad by knocking off another victory and making that top status official?
Oh, look, we spoke about our game this week. Did some good stuff against Exeter, some stuff to improve on, and excited to play today. Sunny at the Wreck, great conditions, and you know, there's 4 points on offer for a win and a bonus point for 4 tries. So we'll follow a process and you know, hopefully put in a good performance.
When you assessed the Exeter game with your process hat on, what did you see that you wanted to address most urgently? Which areas are you looking for improvement in?
I think just use opportunities. You know, the passage of 20 phases just after half time, we started so well and we couldn't quite convert, and that gave Exeter a bit of energy. But on the flip side, when the pressure came, you know, we closed out the game really well. So never too high, never too low. Review it the same every week, and like I said, looking forward to today.
You're in a wonderful position in the league. You're of course fighting for 2 more trophies to add to the Prem Cup. The flip side of that is a lot of games, not a lot of recovery time between those games. Some rotation this week, of course, some of it injury enforced after the knocks you sustained down in Devon. Why is this the right game to switch up the team, to give some of the guys who shone in the Prem Cup an opportunity here in the league?
Well, firstly, if I take a step back, this is our 35th game that we've played in all competitions and all friendlies. You know, this is our 29th competitive fixture across 3 different competitions. We've used 60 players, 49 in the Prem Cup and 14 in the Premiership. So in the last week it was 10 changes, pretty much the same this week. We've got a European semi-final next week, and then, you know, we've got Bristol and Leicester after that. So sticking with the squad, sticking with the theme of, you know, we're all in this together, and you have to trust your squad. And look, some of it is injury enforced, some of it is decisions we made a few weeks ago, and some of it is specific to our opposition. So many different things go into it, but really excited to see this 23 and specifically the starting 15 play.
Well, Steve, you're preparing Newcastle Falcons for what is probably right now the toughest test in all of English rugby, a trip to league-leading Bath, 8 wins on the bounce. What have you said and done in the week to ready your troops for this massive challenge?
Well, a bit of consistency really. We've lost the last couple of games, Northampton and Exeter. We could have won both games, so pretty much of the same really. You know, we got to get time in the tackle. We've got to chop, get them down. Certainly big forwards, 2 packs of forwards as they pick every week, and take our opportunities when we create them.
At the other end of the ledger, you mentioned the point scoring aspect. Bath routinely knocking up 40, 50 points a game in all competitions this year. You had a great tussle with them in the Cup semi-final at Kingston Park. Your attack's developing, it's grabbing bonus points now, it's looking a lot more encouraging than it did last season under the previous regime. How confident are you that you've got enough gears in attack to live with Bath, to score the points you'll need to get a result today?
Yeah, we've definitely got enough if we take our opportunities, and you know, against the top 4 sides it's difficult to create those opportunities, so when we do, when we get the opposition 22, we've got to take those chances that we create. So no, I'm confident the lads doing that, definitely.
And just lastly, game 2 of 6 out of the coaching box today. Where are you going to be spending the match? What are you going to be doing for the next 80 minutes or so?
I'm in a Bath former players box, Kevin Yates, John Hall. I'm going to watch the game with those lads, keep myself out of mischief.
Don't get too rowdy. Thanks for your time, James.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Thanks. It really is a special place to watch rugby matches. When you think of the English game, you think of scenes such as this, the spires of Bath towering over the wreck. You think of the great days and the world-class talent that this old place has witnessed, nestled on the banks of the River Avon, with so much history and so much beauty all around. And after several expensive and fruitless years in the doldrums, has this storied club finally produced the answer to the great Gallagher Premiership question. Chasing an historic treble of trophies, Johan van Graan has chosen this game to rotate out some of his heavy hitters. He's also counting the cost of a brutal game in Exeter last weekend. In the back line, Will Muir and Max Ajomo, Orlando Bailey, all missing through injury. Tom de Glanville and captain Ben Spencer given a week off. 4 of the starting backs then aged 23 or younger. A particularly significant day for Kieran Donaghu, typically a back 3-man, now entrusted to do the job at 10, with Finn Russell waiting in reserve on his first Prem starts. The talent pool of forwards at Van Graan's disposal is crazy, underscored by the return from suspension of Sam Underhill, with Ted Hill and Alfie Barbary completing a ferocious back row. On the bench, Guy Pepper, once a Falcon, will come up against his big brother Max for the very first time this afternoon. In terms of budgets and squad size, this really is David against Goliath. The advantage for Newcastle, though, is cohesion. This pretty close to Steve Diamond's go-to 15. 2 changes from the end-to-end loss at Northampton last Friday, with Elliot Omotoyinbo recovering from a head injury. Louis Brown steps in at fullback, and Richard Palfreman is preferred to Murray McCallum in the front row. Newcastle's attack showing some more encouraging signs, with Alex Hurl and Ben Stevenson now scoring regularly. On the other end of the equation, Cam Neild has been posting mega tackle counts on the open side flank. And a day to remember for Oscar Usher, Northumbria uni student, named in a Premiership squad and poised for his professional debut at just 20 years old from the bench. Former Bath, former Wales, former British and Irish Lions centre Jamie Roberts is alongside us in the commentary box today. Jamie, you played many times for this great club. Pitch didn't look quite so good when you were strutting your stuff down here than it does on this manicured lawn. What a season it's been for your old troops here in the West Country, and what an opportunity they have to make this a season to remember.
Fantastic opportunity, Jamie. 2 Jamies in the commentary box, the better looking one speaking of the minute. Amazing place. I always think Bath, one of the best grounds in Premiership Rugby, whether that's the Friday night lights or Saturday afternoon. The sun is shining like it is this afternoon. The pitch is immaculate. Just look at the depth across this Bath squad. The team they've been able to rotate and put out today is pretty frightening. You know, they have all the tools available to go after that treble this season, and Johan van Graan, despite probably not saying that to his troops and mentioning it, I think that there's a belief within this Bath squad that they can do it.
Some green shoots for Newcastle, typified by the likes of that man, Ben Stevenson, in white-hot form. Has ran in 7 tries in his past 6 matches, 2 of them coming against Bath in the Prem Cup semi just a couple of months ago up in the northeast. Still big questions, though, for Newcastle to answer. Can they become more competitive on the road? Can they retain their top talent? And can they attract the investment they need to lay the big platform for the future? Three years ago, it was the boys in blue, black and white, not the Falcons, who languished at the very foot of the Prem table, who spent lavishly but under-delivered again and again and again. What a difference Johan van Graan has made, what a squad he has assembled. And today it is over to some of the familiar faces, the returning Sam Underhill, the barnstorming Alfie Barbary, and of course some of the younger, burgeoning hot shots within it, to get them over the line, to wrap up that playoff berth. With the Prem Cup in the bag, a Challenge Cup semi-final against Edinburgh next weekend, and fewer than 50 days now to the Gallagher Premiership final. A quite remarkable hat-trick of trophies remains a very live possibility. Kieran Donaghu on his Premiership debut, his first start in this competition, and doing so in the number 10 jersey occupied for so long by Finn Russell. Prepares to kick us off. And Craig Maxwell-Keys in the bright yellow, our referee this afternoon.
Good to go. Happy.
A beautiful vista,
sure,
an iconic vista on the European rugby scene.
Okay,
The wreck bathed in spring sunshine. The occupiers of the penthouse suites taking on those dwelling in the Gallagher Premiership basements. And immediately Bath making a real mess of the opening kick as Newcastle went to reclaim it through to Chavez.
Yes, please.
Sam Stewart kicked over 20 times against Northampton last weekend. Gives Austin Emmons, fullback, his first touch. Look out, Barbary on the charge. Collins head in the spokes. Donoghue was charged down by John Hawkins coming through. Donoghue gets on it again and then gets melted. Big punishment for the young fly-half. Welcome to the Premiership, young man.
It's a big day for him, isn't it? In a team that thrived this season on their ability to identify space and get the ball there. Finn Russell, the magician, usually starting in that 10 jersey. Great opportunity for Kieran Donoghue to show his credentials at outside half, not in the back three.
Louis Brown in for Elliot Obertoyinbo, who suffered a nasty head injury early on against the Saints. Stewart to Lockwood. He's had a big season in that Newcastle back row. One of their heaviest carriers, one of their most prolific tacklers as well.
Yes, please.
We'll see plenty of this for Newcastle. Not necessarily keen to take risks in their own half. It's gone forward from Hurl and Bath through Donoghue, looking to spark something from deep. Off he goes, splitting Newcastle through the middle. He's got wheels, Donoghue. Off he goes. He's gone. He's been a Premiership player for 100 seconds. Welcome to the big time, Kieran Donoghue.
Wow, he will remember that for the rest of his life. What a break. We see here, Newcastle, it is a knock-on. They're playing advantage. Donoghue gets the ball. The show and go, the footwork, the fend. You think Will Butt is walking that in. He's gone the other way. He's got the pace, got the sidestep. Thank you very much. What a moment for this young man.
Thank you.
Do you remember your pro debut, Jamie?
15
Was it as
seconds.
spectacular as that?
I definitely didn't score a try like that, Jeremy. Jeez. What a moment.
22 years of age. To the manor born, to the wreck born. Bath 7, Newcastle 0.
I think he's gone the wrong way here. Will Butt would have walked that try, but he's backed himself. Sees the covering defenders coming, uses his footwork, uses his pace. Looks like he's got all the tools.
And that's one that'll be hanging in the family photo album and replayed many, many times over the years by Clan Donoghue. Barbary, rattling cages.
Yes, please.
No Ben Spencer today. Johan van Graan giving his club captain a bit of a breather. Tom Carr-Smith, just a year older than Donoghue, but has had a bit more exposure to first-team rugby, hoisting that box kick.
On the ground for me. No issue.
Van Graan placing faith today in many of the backs who propelled them towards Prem Cup glory, beating Newcastle in a end-to-end semi-final in the North East in the process. Clark, former Bath man, wide to Doherty. Head down into McConaughey, who has got the centre's number. No room to manoeuvre.
He's just got to be a bit smarter than that, isn't he? Conor Doherty, you've got to fight in field. As a real coach killer. Carrying into touch, just turning over position. He's got to come off his left foot there.
His left boot was on the ground. It's close, but it's on the ground.
Just have a look here. Max Clark, instead of going through the hands, goes to the big over-the-top ball. You're not going to take Rory McConaughey on. Strong fella.
Redpath out the back to Will Butts. Too quick for Conor Doherty. Bath slicing Newcastle open at will. Here's Emmons up against Brown, and Emmons dragged into touch. try saver from Louis Brown.
Great covering tackle.
Half a yard off the 5.
Do the damage here. It's a late ball, isn't it?
Well, Bath have played on, and Bath have picked Newcastle's pocket. Newcastle threw over the top, and Cam Redpath pilfered the ball and scored.
Obviously, if he's not come from the
Grand larceny in the West Country.
and he's not made
Newcastle pointing the gun at their foot and emptying both barrels.
Happy with that, Pete? I've asked. Yeah, time off, please.
Looks like he's offside there.
Okay. Let's review it then.
It's definitely not 10 metres. I mean, I love the anticipation.
Yeah, the 13 blue was never retired to the 10, so he was offside, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it's a line out, so he either needs to make the 15 to be part of the line out, or he needs to be back 10. If he's done neither, he's offside. So you've got one replay, just throw it on the screen for me, mate, please.
Peter Allen, our TMO, is just alerting Craig Maxwell Keys to Redpath's positioning here. A cursory look at the replay might be enough for him.
They're all offside, yeah, so it's a penalty just inside the 22. No, try. Offside.
Sighs of relief.
Yeah, that penalty for offside.
Breathed all around the northeast.
It's really smart play from Cam Redpath. You're always very well aware that
nor was he offside.
defensive teams are going to maybe chuck the ball over the top, so anticipating that, being ready for it. His problem is he didn't get back 10 metres.
Yeah, under the line there, so yep.
Unsurprisingly, given their lofty standing in the table, Bath, top try scorers, best defence in the competition, scoring 36 points a game, conceding 22. Newcastle shipping 5 tries a match in this competition. Ugly defensive stats and soft concessions. Errors such as that will really irk Steve Diamond. As it is, back-to-back penalties will give the Falcons their first chance to gain a foothold in the Bath territory. A sneaky pint for Dimes. Well, it's beer garden weather after all, and I suppose he's not working.
It's been a point of difference, Bath, hasn't it, this season? Their attacking intent, 36 points a game on average. The quality in their attacking play. Yes, we see the razzle-dazzle and Finn Russell et al., but it is backed up by pure power. You look at the ball-carrying ability of these Bath forwards. The punch on the gain line, it's super impressive.
Alex Hurl, and for over 100 metres last weekend, working off his wing. Stewart and Cam Nields, long-time Steve Diamond favourite for the Sale Sharks.
Only got one hand on
You
Sam.
can see the ferocity with which Bath are scavenging and menacing on the floor. Here's Max Clark to Doherty. Emmons chucks him down. Palfreman. Preferred today to Murray McCallum, who had a couple of lovely flashes of handling, set up 2 Falcons tries. Callum Chick, the captain.
Thank you.
Brown. Loose pass. Lamire well behind the gain line. He'll be a Leicester Tiger next season. Annoying issue for Newcastle, their inability to, well, hold on to the ball here, but also hold on to their top players. Adam Radwan gone, Blamire, Max Pepper going, Ben Redshaw heading for Gloucester next season as well. Third penalty advantage for the Falcons. Lockwood, Connon, nicely away to Brown, and then Clark had to hold on to the ball. Smashed by Hennessy, and the advantage activated.
And Newcastle finding out pretty early in this game they're not going to be able to go through Bath. They don't have the power, the punch to break the big boys, especially Bath's defensive setup looks rock solid, black and blue wall.
It's when it slowed the ball down. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I know, the same balance. Yeah.
They need intricacy to their game, offload, take a few risks,
not rolling away,
play at a pace that is going to buy them those soft shoulders. They just need to do it with a bit more accuracy than they have shown over the past 5 or 6 phases. Too many balls down just lacking that quality and execution in their attacking game at the minute. But they have a chance, 7 metres out.
897 days since Newcastle Falcons won a Premiership match away from home. Not too far from here, Kingsholm, 12th of November 2022. Line-out continues to menace them though. Loose over the top.
Yes,
and all that pressure can be relieved by Bath.
It's inside.
Stevenson keeps it in. Underhill lines up a trademark Underhill chop.
That's one on top of the ball. You're inside.
Forward comes young Austin Emmons, challenged by Stevenson.
Newcastle play on.
Newcastle win it back. Stevenson winning that little tussle. Palfreman throwing the dummy and then looking to play himself, and then the ball scooshes loose and Carr Smith hacks it away.
Inside of 22.
Nothing coming off for Newcastle right now. Max Clark having a little foray from deep. Will Stewart's on it though, and he gets his rewards.
I've seen if he came out with it, holding on. Player isolated.
He gets over it, doesn't he? I thought Newcastle got away with that one. As he blows the whistle, Stewart falls to the deck. And it's off his feet, he's let it go, but long enough for Maxwell Keys to deem it holding on. Penalty Bath.
Yeah, we'll wait. Okay, Joe, time off.
Richard Palfreman just feeling the ill effects of that collision as he considered throwing a 25-yard pass off his left paw. Murray McCallum is down and readying for action beneath us. Should that change be enforced?
A little crossfield diagonal kick from Palfreman there. Carried instead, great shot. Underhill, how many times have we seen that?
I have no idea. If they want to send water on, go for it, yeah.
Falcons coaches are perched just in front of us in the commentary box. Mickey Ward and Alan Dickens taking the chief responsibility for running the cutter with Steve Diamond out of action. He's not allowed anywhere in the playing enclosure today. He's got to stay the other side of the white line and the barriers. That's why he's up in the box with his old Sale Sharks colleague Kevin Yates and a couple of former Bath players as well. But this looks very much like the end of the day for Richard Palfreman. Murray McCallum, the one-cap Scotland international, has come on at tight head to replace him. And given the paucity of Newcastle's resources, the vast depth that Bath are soon to be unleashing off their bench.
He's right in the way. Time's still off. Time's still off. Wait.
Could be very, very costly for the Falcons.
Cheers, Simon. Okay, when he gets
there's big Murray McCallum. A fine outing against the Northampton Saints.
Thank you, lads. Time is on.
A try assist, a line break assist that led to a try. Showing some of the finer aspects of the game as well as his grunt. Chick got up well for Newcastle, and it's all a bit untidy. Falcons go down on it. Brocklebank in there, Neiled in there. And that's a big win for Newcastle. Don't steal many lineouts. Don't escape their own 22 with any real efficiency. And they're going to be bailed out by Bath going off their feet.
3 goes off his feet. No issue with the counter, but your first action is to land on the floor. They then can't counter back past you. 5+1, lads. Off feet.
Sense a bit of weakness in that ruck, didn't he, Will Stewart? Wanted to add his weight. Fly into it. Just goes off his feet. Concedes a penalty.
Will Stewart must be right in the mix, not just for Lions selection, but on current form for a slot in the starting test team. Xander Fagerson's injured, Tyke Furlong working his way back. He had a fantastic Six Nations, didn't he, Jamie?
was going to say, Todd Furlong have something to say about that starting tight head berth, but no doubt huge improvements over the last couple of seasons. We'll see a real quality tight head prop now for England and Bath, of course.
Another Falcons line-out goes awry, and Bath into the 22 and then coughing up the pill via a bit of friendly fire. Stewart away to Chick, he looks for meters, and then the offload to Lockwood. Ball exposed at the base. Stewart back to Chick, over the top to Stevenson, and called forward by Joe James, the assistant referee on this near side. Newcastle can't get out of Coffin corner.
And they were screaming for the ball the other side off that turnover. Here we see the forward pass, but Newcastle lift their heads up, play to the other side of the field, and about a 5-on-1.
Feel good. Here we go.
Yes, sir. Here.
It's Conor Doherty showing his frustration there with the orange boots.
Let's go.
Ready.
Let's go.
We're ready. Sir.
First one, yeah. Patience, please. Stable throughout.
Yep. No worries, sir. Let's go, boys. Here we go. Come on in. Big gap. Just ready. Let's do. Yes, boys.
What are you seeing here, Jamie, the way that Bath are setting up this first phase attack?
Crouch.
You can see Cam Redpath slightly promoted, so expect him to be the ball player. Will Butt is that line runner, that classic wide 9 to 12 pass, 13 short, 10 out the back. Probably play front door. Oh no, they don't.
They go back instead to Donoghue, and then it goes through the arms of Emmons, and the bouncing ball evading Hennessy, so Louis Brown can scoop it up and kick for Alex Hurl to chase. Redpath covered such a vast expanse of ground. Classy from Redpath. Emmons gets onto it again, and Bath survive. No, they don't. In at the side they go, and Newcastle have another penalty.
It's completely over on the breakdown. Clears out from the side.
Bath ran a similar play
Yep,
from a line-out 5-10 minutes ago, and they cut them. Will Butt came around the corner, made the line break. Bath getting a little bit excited, don't have to play out the back all the time, especially when you've got ball carrying ballast like Will Butt. Newcastle probably read that really well. They cut the back, they defended it actually really well, and almost paid the price.
On the line, please, fellas. Thank you.
Yeah, 4 of Bath starting backs today, 23 are under. Not a lot of Premiership experience among them. Winston Emmons, Louis Hennessy, Donoghue and Carr Smith, the halfbacks. Here it's time for that mighty pack to do its job. Lockwood with a disguised take at the front, rather than the maul. Chip goes around the corner. Hennessy holds him up. Yule's in there too. It is these positions here from which Newcastle Falcons have not scored enough tries,
Feet and hands up.
have not converted enough pressure into points. Hawkins in the blue head guard.
Up.
Kneeled. Underhill working hard, just couldn't get his mitts to it. Stewart away for Lockwood. Ferocious Bath defence, the best defence in the Gallagher Premiership. He leaked another penalty though. Craig Maxwell-Key's arm extended for advantage.
He has lifted
Stewart
the ball.
to Blameyer. Barbary's too strong for him. Barbary stripped him, and they'll need the penalty.
No advantage. Easy. 2.
Jimmy, that penalty count just creeping up a little. 6 now Bath have conceded.
2.
God knows what it's like being a forward trying to pick and go against this Bath defence. I mean, the size of the players is saying best defence in the Premiership this year. They've been outstanding on their try line throughout the course of the season. So hard to break down.
Staying second too long. I'll look for the hold though, yeah. No.
Newcastle are going to have to learn pretty quickly. I think they just need to play that little bit wider. You're going into the first 2 or 3 defenders. Can they target that 3rd or 4th defender? Softer shoulder.
The Chavez takes. This time it is the maul. It's in very promising shape. Over they go. Try scored. And Cam Neild comes up with the payload. Goodness me, they've taken some heavy fire. But Newcastle Falcons showing their resistance.
It's a great line out from Peel that does the damage.
Okay.
Sense a bit of a weakness there.
Started the conversation. Thank you.
You got the winger Hennessy there trying to hold up the ballast of 2 or 3 Newcastle players. No chance.
Cheers, Peter. Thank you.
A tough old start to life as a Newcastle Falcon.
Yeah.
And a serious injury in pre-season against his old club,
15.
Sale. Only got back early part of 2025. Just his 7th game today. And Brett Connor looking to level things up from the touchline. Flags stay down. 2-point game. Just a reminder, if you're only recently joining us, a win today for Bath does wrap up their place in the top 4 with 3 matches to spare. Not that their place in the top 4 is in any realistic doubt. A bonus point win today would confirm they will finish the league as the top-ranked team. Sam Stewart's charge down. Freddie Lockwood's with good knowledge of the laws, scooping up from an otherwise offside position.
Yes, please.
Chick from a little dummy. Through the 2 tacklers, Callum Chick. Underhill comes thundering in. Big shoulder on the Newcastle skipper.
Just line for me. Take him back in. Yes, please.
Sam Stewart can't go directly to touch here. Gives Stevenson something to chase. He complains Underhill was in his way. Barbary, Ewells. 2-man shots the order of the day for the Falcons. Donahue just telegraphed that pass a little.
It's a genuine attempt to
Connor
catch
Doherty
the ball.
couldn't cling on to it. Bath scrum.
Our captain's down for. Yep, no worries.
Well,
We've
Sam
got 2
Underhill.
players down, 1 from each team.
Wouldn't surprise me if they have a look at that little tackle. Sam Underhill.
8 will be down, Peter, because of the tackle when he carried off the loose ball in the 22.
Another angle.
No worries, we've also got a Bath player down as well, so no rush, mate.
Is that shoulder to chin?
Our TMO Peter Allen is just having a little look at this in the background.
Wouldn't surprise me if Sam Underhill sees yellow for this one.
Yeah, Craig, we're going to have a look at the tackle by 7 Blue.
Yeah, this is now going to be a formal TMO referral.
So we've got head contact, just shoulder to chin in the tackle. I'll get the point of contact for you.
Mate, yeah, I'm just walking over to the screen. So obviously live we thought there was only chest contact. So yeah, first of all, let's just best angle to show whether there is head contact, and then we'll go from there.
Sam Underhill just back from suspension. 3-week ban reduced down to 2 for participating in tackle school. Sent off against Poe in the UPCR Challenge
Roll
Cup.
it all the way through, Pete.
He might be heading to the naughty step for this one.
So Pete, you telling me, because on the screen it's really tight, but you saying obviously there is chest contact to start with, but then the shoulder does ride up and make head-neck contact?
Yeah, it does. It catches him on the chin, yes.
Okay, so in that case, we do have head contact, because there's head-neck contact. There is fault right, because the player is upright.
Agreed, yes.
Yep, so there is fault. So in terms of then level of danger, I don't see this as a high level of danger, because most of the force goes to the chest, but there's no clear mitigation, so it stays at a yellow card. Against 7 Bath, is it, Peter?
That's correct, yeah, I agree with all those, yeah.
It just rides up.
Out comes the yellow card for Sam Underhill.
We inside or outside the 22, mate?
Another card for the human scythe. Shake of the head and a waved hand of acknowledgement. Right call for you, Jamie?
Hard to disagree with that one. He kind of knew when he saw the tackle it was going to be borderline. It's just unlike Sam Underhill. How often do we see him tackle kind of knee level? You know, his tackle 10 minutes ago sent Richard Polferman off the park. How impactful he can be, just that chucking all his energy at knee level. Brutal being on the receiving end of it. He's just a bit high, just a bit lazy technique. And he's paid the price with 10 minutes in the bin.
Quarter of the game gone. Only 2 points separating the league leaders and the team at the bottom of the table. Newcastle with a man advantage for the next 10 or so. Lovely hands through the middle to rampaging Ben Stevenson. Kneeled. Little ball inside to Brocklebank. Conan. Chick. Double shot on the Newcastle skipper. This JP Ferreira driven defence, so aggressive, so miserly, ceding so few line breaks. Newcastle making a league worst 5 per game.
Won't be an option.
And when they have a little nibble like that and they don't get anywhere, that's the blueprint. Deep kick, well fielded Louis Hennessy.
He's done really well to get back there. You know, Newcastle's opportunity when they go wide first phase is actually to come back wide second phase. They're not going to get much purchase trying to punch through this Bath side, especially down to 14 men. They've got to look for the edges earlier.
Good question.
Especially around that middle third of the park. You've got a bit more space. The wingers are a bit softer.
Kick won't win any points for beauty from Louis Hennessy, but it is awkwardly effective. Alex Herrell running into heavy traffic. Lamire.
Good choice.
He's kneeled. Conan out the back. Herrell and Lockwood and Brown. Barbary covering across. Kneeled again through the dummy this time. Charlie Ewells. Will Stewart not buying it. Newcastle continuing to plug away, searching for soft shoulders, for weak spots in this tough Bath defence. Stevenson hauled down well by Cam Redpath. And McConaughey going in for the steal, and he will be rewarded. Great scramble from Bath. Newcastle cannot find a route to the line.
Stevenson does really well, doesn't he? Half break. He's got to be aware that he's got someone on his left-hand side shoulder there. The offload is on. The problem is his teammates overrun him and misses the clean. See here, just come into shot. That's the problem. You don't give him the ball and you carry. It's too much for Max Clark to do as a second arriving player. McConaughey does a great job. Hands on the ball, clear turnover. Saves Bath. I think Newcastle, they're not going to get any dents here trying to go through this big Bath pack. They've got to find width earlier.
He's there.
There's some dangerous runners out there.
Quinn former Ireland international, claims the line out at the tail. Pro 12 winner with Connacht all the way back in 2016. Penalty advantage to Bath. Brocklebank lingering where he doesn't belong. And I think by his logic he might as well just concede the penalty.
Number one.
Bath have become this all-court team, haven't they? You know, the basketball analogy, a team that can beat you many different ways. They can chuck it around. They have the quality, intricacy in attack to cut you.
Yeah, sure, ask me or ask the AR.
They've got the power to beat you up at set piece. They've got the quality in their kick and game to challenge you in the air. It's hard to see a weakness.
Rue wins again. Bath rev the engine.
9 once.
Carr Smith to Redpath. Freddie Lockwood quickly up in his crosshairs. Hill. Just one of so many top back row talents in this Bath squad. Here's another Barbary. That frisson of excitement when he gets paws on ball. And it's soft hands. Francois Van Fake, the South African. Hill. Stewart. The pick and jam, hurting Newcastle. He'll play scrum half, has a little crack around the fringes himself. Remember, Bath attacking with 14 men, attacking very narrow. Only the two wingers hugging the touchline. Everybody else honeypotting in your shot. Barbary just has it dislodged from his grasp. Red path. Bath do have scrum advantage here. Carr Smith. Donahue thought about sending it wide, then jinked back into the heavies. Carr Smith again. Will Stewart again. He's been busy. Bath turned 40% of these 22 trips into tries this season. Fiendishly hard to stop, even with 14 men. Newcastle have done the first bit of the job.
Feels like quite a long scrum advantage that.
Always under pressure going backwards, so just the scrum.
Yeah, I think they're going backwards. Craig Maxwell-Keys, referee.
Yep.
Sometimes referees, after 2 or 3 phases of continuing to play, they just let that fly.
Whether it's a part of the ruck clear out or whether there's then a secondary action.
I would question the first bit is, and then the tennis we can't get forward.
Well, yeah, those are the two judgments we're making.
How do you solve a problem like Bath, Jamie? You spoke about the many weapons they can bring to the party. If you're preparing a team to play them, if you're a player in an opposition team, where would you see possible weaknesses? Because there ain't many.
Hope for a yellow card. I think Newcastle, where they're going to challenge in this game, if they're going to stay in it till 60, 70 minutes, they have to, of course, defend admirably in their 22, because Bath are going to get entries, they're going to win penalties in the middle third, and they're going to come with their power game. I think it's Newcastle that their biggest risk is that they overplay in that middle third. You know, they have to be quite conservative. I think that they're not going to get much traction attacking and against this solid Bath defence. Is putting boots to ball. You know, their kicking game, whether it's along the floor, whether it's in the air, really challenging this Bath back three. You know, putting that risk back on Bath, not overplaying their hands in that middle third. But it starts at set piece. You know, they've got to concede. You know, defend against a Bath scrum now, 10 metres out. They split the back line. This is a tough place to defend from. Will Butt packing down on blind side.
Bath scrum with Butt in for Underhill. Milks the penalty. Carr Smith sniping. Lockwood gets to him. Here goes Barbary. That's one way to stop him. Cling on to an angle. Wait for the cavalry to arrive.
No, still under. Yeah, I've gone.
Hill, again, using his abrasiveness. McConaughey in there working. Bath under penalty advantage from the scrum. Barbary, another shot. 5 metres out the home team.
Lads, space.
Hill waits. Off he goes. Newcastle hemorrhaging penalties here. Tom Carr Smith in the shadow of the posts. Hill. Bath are businesslike, efficient, assured in this sort of position. They trust their processes, those that have been drilled for 3 seasons now under Johan van Graan. Carr Smith, Van Beek.
Let go, you're the second man. Second man. You're still under penalty advantage.
Phase count ticking higher and higher.
Okay.
The pressure, even from 14 men, unrelenting, but in the end, the penalty is required.
Hang on. You can either go back to the scrum. We've got an offside here on the 5 metre line. One here, yeah? So scrum was tight head, offside here.
Even still, it's a respectful effort from this Newcastle defence. They will not want to concede.
Time off, please.
Try here against 14 men. Of course, Sam Underhill still in the bin.
It's about 1 minute and 20 seconds left on Sam Underhill's period in the sin bin. A period dominated by the team missing their international flanker.
Okay.
Bath, remember, 8 wins on the bounce coming into this fixture. Won 11 of the past 12. Their only defeat in that 12-game stretch away to Bristol in the Prem Cup. And
Stay on
unsurprisingly,
the line, please, lads.
choosing to extend their advantage and to wind down the final seconds of Underhill's penance.
There's a little nod of respect to that Newcastle defence as well, isn't it? Being fire with fire.
Scrum picture, okay. Your
Solid defence, haven't conceded.
Thank you.
No Sam Harris out long term, no Orlando Bailey, dislocated a finger off the bench against the Chiefs. So this young man, Kieran Donoghue, so far has all of his team's points in his first league appearance. Takes all but 2 seconds of his allotted minutes, and Bath move into double figures.
Okay, send him.
And that has taken us to the end of Sam Underhill's sin bin spell. A ripple of cheer around the wreck as the open side gets back to man the battlements once more. Barbary has dropped it.
Unusual ever from Barbary. You see this little knock on. He's had an absolute fantastic season, this guy.
Just height, please.
Epitomises that power game we've been discussing.
There you go.
I know Ollie Lawrence is injured as well, but he's another. Bath have recruited smartly. Sometimes you can dress the game up all you want, but you need players like this to get you on the front foot, whether that's in traffic, whether that's against weaker shoulders. Sublime season.
Bind. Set.
Big attacking platform this for Newcastle.
Stay at the tunnel, please.
They make something of it. Not with a scrum like that. Massive from Bath. An irrepressible shunt. And Falcons reverse lights blinking furiously.
So 4's going for a HIA. Send a replacement on me, please. Thank you.
Right, Newcastle being forced to make a change here. HIA, head injury assessment required for John Hawkins, and on for his professional debut comes this fella, Oscar Usher, 20 years of age, Northumbria University student, given a mouth-watering opportunity today. Only signed up to the Newcastle Academy in February. He's been a part of the Falcons setup, formally at least, a matter of months, and he is now a Gallagher Premiership player.
Yeah, always a special occasion for any player. Congratulations to him. Hope it's a day he remembers for a long time.
He's packing down against 16 caps of Quinn Rue, 32 caps of Charlie Ewells in the second row. Baptism of fire and then some. Here's Barbary. How do you stop him? Donoghue zipping it out to Emmons on the outside of Stevenson. Hill. Donoghue. But he's had a big season in that Bath midfield. And filling the berth left by the injured Ollie Lawrence. He'll be out for the end of the season and then some, sadly enough. Bad Achilles tendon problem for him. No Maxi Jomo either today, by the way. Working his way back from an ankle injury. Still a couple of weeks away, Johan van Graan tells us. Redpath. Out the back to Donoghue. Bath flooding through. What a line from Hennessy. Oh, the tap tackle almost took him down. But he's got Carsmith on the inside. And Bath cut loose in the West Country sunshine.
Selfish from Louis Hennessy at the air, puts Carl Smith under the 6 for guaranteed 7. But the damage is done by Bath. Their work rate off the ball. If you just watch their attackers working in motion, all those Newcastle defenders are trapped the other side of the field. This is just pick your number. It's a great line. You always want that player hitting the line flat just in case the defence have overread. Louis Hennessy is that guy playing on the left wing. His work rate to come off the ball.
25 seconds.
That flat line. Brett Conner, no chance.
You have to use the clock.
It's an unselfish pass. Absolute gift for Carl Smith.
9 tries for the season now, Tom Carr-Smith. Vast majority of those coming in the Prem Cup. And Bath now stretching away as half-time approaches. 12 points to the good.
So Lee Blackett will be pleased with that one. It's all the synchronised attack, all the players working in motion together. And as Newcastle defenders, you're watching, you've got no players up against you. You're thinking, should I fold? And if you do, you're going to pay the price the next phase, because they just go the other way. Smart attack, creating numbers, working hard. Read the rewards.
Carr-Smith has leathered that into the sky. Hennessy giving chase. Brilliant aerial contest. Won fabulously by Louis Brown.
Let go, let go. I've got them both at the same height.
This is Lockwood. So. Yes, please. Newcastle, of course, such a bleak record on the road. We mentioned their 22-game wait for an away win in the Premiership. Average score in the league away from Kingston Park this season. Scored 17 points, conceded 44. They're in trouble here again on the break as McConaughey looks to take on Connon. Gets rid of him easily enough. Away from Chick as well. Emmons coursing through, and that's a horrible collision. Louis Brown
It's definitely a penalty, Joe.
thundering into him upright.
So you want to play penalty advantage?
Penalty advantage activated. And this will need some deeper scrutiny.
Please, yep.
Got a feeling this might not even be yellow. It looks pretty bad.
He's down being treated. Time off.
Yeah, Craig, we're going to review this, obviously. Yeah, we've got head contact by 15 Newcastle.
Okay, Timo. It's obviously live with a penalty for no arms. And now we've got query head contact.
Craig Maxwell-Keys
We're ready
is
when you are, mate. So best angle.
trooping across to look at the screen.
Head contact, please.
You'd have to think Louis Brown is in serious jeopardy here.
Yeah, we're in the front of the screen now, so we'll go from now. So yes, head contact. Yes to there being fault. So now we're at where we're entering in terms of level of danger. So just roll the same angle through if you can, but real speed. He may be wrapping, but we're entering at a high level of danger here. He rocks him back in the tackle. So we're entering at red. So Peter, you happy with that? We've got head contact, we have fault. It's a high level of danger because he's rocked back into the tackle. So we're entering at red if you're happy with that, Peter.
I don't have any other, I agree with you, yeah.
So one more angle just to box off any mitigation. So there's whether it's just a brace for the tackle which lowers the height, or whether it's a sudden and significant drop. I don't see a sudden or significant drop. Peter, we don't see any clear mitigation. It may be a slight brace, but it's not a significant drop.
No, I agree.
So we're staying on red card for Newcastle 15.
That's correct, yeah.
If you're a Newcastle Falcons fan, when it rains, it pours. Louis Brown's afternoon cut short as Craig Maxwell-Keys brandishes red. And a tough task for Newcastle. Just became a mountain of Himalayan proportions.
That's my 5, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. High tackle.
Penny for Steve Diamond's thoughts. Such a big job on it. Newcastle Falcons, such a lot to do to attract the new investment that the club needs. The club has been seeking for some time to bring that kind of long-term sustainability to such an important bastion of rugby in the northeast of England.
Over 15.
Underhill just loses it forwards, but there's a second ball on the pitch.
There's 2 balls on the pitch. 2 balls on the pitch. At the point I stopped, you have possession. It's a Newcastle scrum.
Won't give Bath the reprieve of another
Newcastle scrum.
Shot at the line out.
It's their scrum. So when I blow the whistle, they have possession, but we can't keep going because they have the ball.
Jamie, just take us back to that red card collision. How did you see it?
We stop, Newcastle have possession.
I think it's a red. I'd argue Emmons does drop late. I think he's got his lined up to be shoulder height, but he has to adapt in that split moment. You have to bail out of that, which brings the danger of degree of danger down to yellow card, but he stays in it. It's that sting, it's that head rocking back. And he pays the price. So no doubt this game, you know, the result is a foregone conclusion, but you kind of feel Bath now are going to score more than their average 36 points. This could be a 50-60 pointer. Let's see how Newcastle respond.
Kalanchik, ever willing, ever resilient in the face of such adversity. The Newcastle Falcons captain.
9, let's go.
Just a little bit slower and stilted from Newcastle after Chick made the initial momentum.
Don't pull them, you can drive. Now we're on use it. Well, Leonard.
Stewart doesn't get much distance on that one. Emmons came a long way for it. Batted back by Falcons' fingertips. Fred Lockwood flirting with the touchline. Murray McCallum tucks and runs.
Look where he is,
2.5 minutes of this first half remaining.
Yep.
Stewart again repeats the trick. 50 yards high, 10 yards forwards. Bath ball, broken field ball. Trouble and threats galore. Hennessy inside to Emmons. Lamar shut the door on him quickly. But an overlap down the left. Donahue kicks in behind Alex Herrell, where Louis Brown would have been. Herrell, back to Stevenson. Newcastle playing with fire in their own 22.
Stevenson's done so well there. You thought he was going to get a shove back. He's ducked, he's fought his way out.
I'm aware he's there, lads.
And perhaps a chance for Newcastle to play out here. This is Herrell inside to Clark, bashing it downfield. Needs it to stay in field. Barbary for company. Clark did catch it. Oh, he's kept it alive superbly. Wizardry from Clark, and then Stewart's pass is illegally batted down from an offside player. And we're looking at possible penalty try here.
Deliberate knock on by Bath 13.
This game has just combusted these past few minutes.
So since we're checking the deliberate knock on, let's check this isn't touch first. Looks fine to me, eh?
Max Clark does brilliantly.
So we're happy with touch.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just a yellow card against Bath 13, isn't it?
It is, yes.
It's fine.
Yeah, no case for a penalty try there. Enough cover there to deal with the potential Newcastle break, but it is a yellow card for the deliberate knock-on from Redpath.
Too far out for us. It's definitely a yellow. Can't go more than that. I don't doubt that.
Oh, sorry.
Say? Oh. Right, there you go.
See where it goes.
Deliberate. Yeah, good point on boxing off touch there.
Right then, one last chance for Newcastle before half-time to head to the sheds with just the single score margin between the teams. Max Clark, roughly 100 games for Bath, knows every blade of this beautiful recreation ground lawn. Up it goes for Usher. Here's Blameyer, and hurl off his wing to Doherty, splits them up the middle. Under the post he goes. Newcastle still alive, still kicking, refusing to go quietly into the West Country night.
Set play, brilliantly executed. Great finish, Doherty, but it's a yellow card, it's a sin bin. Bath, one man down.
It will be looked at, yeah, it's fine.
It's a flat pass.
It's fine.
Cam Redpath's got to read that, he's got to jam quicker.
He's already cleared it. He's already cleared it. It's the hands, not the line, Charlie. Hands.
2 tries in 2 matches for Conor Doherty.
Your time, and it will be half time.
He's finding his groove towards the end of the campaign.
Sorry, Will Butt. He's got a camera pass just been sent to the bin. I was going to say that would have been a decent effort from the bin, but great finish of the first half by Newcastle.
Last kick of the half from Brett Connon brings up 2 more Falcons points, and just 5 separating the teams at the interval. Alan Dickens slapping his players as they head to the changing rooms. Newcastle Falcons still in touching distance, still alive in their quest to produce one of the shocks of this Gallagher Premiership season. A wonderful encounter laden with cards, tries and dramas at the wreck. What does the second half have in store for us? The interval in the West Country, it's Bath 17, Newcastle 12. We've got a few great centres in the building today. One of them's beside me, the other one perched up behind the post. The legendary Jeremy Guscott, of course, a hero of Bath, trophy-laden era of the 1990s, a British and Irish Lion several times over, and a proud England international as well. One of the leading lights of the golden age of Bath rugby, when titles and trophies were gobbled up by the cabinet full. Those are the days. Ewan van Graan and his coaching team are working hard to try to reinstill at this very proud and very historic rugby team.
Let's not forget that drop goal in Durban as well. Jerry Guscott, 97, Lions year. Special tour. Now, the Lions have only ever won 5 Test series in their history, playing a central role in that one in 97 in South Africa.
Yeah, Jerry Guscott won 2 of those series. Big game player. Meanwhile, it's up to the current crop, who, remember, will secure their place in the semi-finals in a few weeks' time with any kind of victory today. Bonus point win would confirm them as top seeds. Oh, high tackle on Ben Stevenson. Not been short of contentious incidents today. Louis Hennessy just catching Stevenson high.
Yeah, there's just some naivety there, and it's not a hugely experienced player. Just got to be careful. Hit the shoulder, you've got to pull out a bit. In fact, Stevenson ducks as well. He rides the tackle, comes up over his head. It looks far more serious than it actually was. It's got to be a bit smarter.
There you go. No worries.
And both these teams, if you're still joining us, still down to 14 men. Louis Brown sent off. Cam Redpath in the sin bin, and Doherty's in again! Coming into this match, Bath had conceded 6 first phase tries all season. Newcastle have done them twice, filleted them twice, and scored twice with the same player.
So into out, Max Clark looks like he's going to carry, just bounces out last minute. What a line. What a line, Conor Doherty. You see here Max Clark into out. Bath defence too slow to react. Talked about Cam Redpath reading that ball over the top, opposite side of the field. First half, he's the man in the bin. He's that defensive leader. Bath miss on this occasion. It's a great line, Conor Doherty. Twice in 2 minutes, tail end of the first half. Straight after half-time, strikes again, out to in line, does the damage.
For the first time this afternoon, Newcastle Falcons have the lead. And you'd have got long odds on that scenario after 42 minutes of this one. Donoghue sends the steepling restart deep. Stewart asks for help from Captain Chick, who is typically on hand to provide it. A little bit loose though. Neild does the salvage work.
Thank you. Yes, please. It's not where your hand is, Cam.
Bath would be really disappointed to concede that try. There was no threat at the back. Outside half, Brett Connor not even in the picture. Just got to defend.
Your team's doing the same, so both need to improve.
What's in front of you? Bath failed on that occasion.
Here come the blue, black and white. Will Butt, lassoed by Lockwood. Carr Smith just got caught at the base, and Donoghue under pressure kicks in behind. Stevenson hammers it back. 50-22's on here. Ball doesn't go the way he wants it to. Donoghue away from Stevenson. Too fleet of foot for Neild and De Chavez, and he's launched a 50-22 attempt of his own. How composed was that young man? Conan under pressure. Huge territorial gain for Bath.
Sign of good players. How much time you have on the ball? Look at this. Just as he's got an elegance about him. Saw Jerry Guscott there just before the game kicked off. Very similar. Doesn't even look like he's trying. He's got all the time in the world. Quality rugby.
Bath reload and come again. Donoghue to Barbary. Not a bad man to find when yards are the order of the day. Carr Smith, enticing ball to Ewells. Donoghue out the back, throwing the dummy. Beauty inside to Quinn Roux. Newcastle's lead expunged. This is the Bath we've seen all season. The brawn melded to the beauty. The muscles allied to the magnificence.
It's Donoghue with the damage again. And the offload, have a look at this, Ewells out the back, Donoghue, show and go. Support lines flood through. You're going to get half a shoulder.
Happy, Joe?
Just checking here that Hennessy doesn't change his line. Could argue that he actually does. He has a little look.
Sweetly struck from Kieran Donoghue. Bath one try from their bonus point quest.
That's the problem when you're down a man. Red card, any line breaks often tend to get punished quite severely. Lack of cover in the backfield, you're trying to fill the front line.
Alex Hell's done a brilliant job of snaffling that back for Newcastle. And Jamie Meyer stuttering and driving up the middle. Bath have it back though. Carr Smith drives it deep. Stevenson's got a lot of ground to cover here. Just kicks in field, avoiding the 50-22, but Stevenson stepping through hot coals as Bath come and mob him.
9, yes, please.
Here the taxi call from Newcastle Falcons, which is their lingo for a one-out drive to make the space for half-backs to extricate themselves from this part of the pitch.
You need to bind up quick.
It's a very good kick. Sam Stewart. get anywhere near halfway with those kicks is a really, really good kick, especially with that angle.
You've got the cut on the line, cut out of the grass.
But this Bath attack is relentless. They're set, ready to go. They want this bonus point.
And it to the tail, wonderfully done by Roux. Donahue, but Barbary was the decoy this time, but there's plenty of bashing of his own. Carr Smith, quick ball to Annett. Oh, was Blameyer offside there? If he was, he's in trouble. As it is, Adam Brocklebank, off he trundles. He's got backs for company. They haul him down like lions on a buffalo. Quick ball for Newcastle, De Chavez. Doherty cutting inside Donahue. Buck doing such rugged defensive work. Here's Lockwood, crashes into the 22. Stewart, Usher,
not live.
The debutant off the bench, makes good headway. Kneeled, Hurl through the dummy. Just rode a couple of tackles into the 22. Newcastle only scoring from 1 in 5 of these positions this season. Conan couldn't link with a teammate. Stewart, little dummy around the fringes. Van Veek has stripped him. Bath possession.
Release!
And Ben Stevenson's got to go a long way back into the backfield
Just the scrum
to cover the lack of a fullback.
Mark is inside. Advantage over.
Carr Smith boots it out, and everybody can suck in great lungfuls of West Country air, and Cam Redpath can rejoin us from his sin bin.
Talk about sucking in air. None other than Adam Brocklebank. Thought he was going the length there. Probably had visions of
You're on the cut of the grass.
outrunning a couple of backs and going 50 metres all the way. Here he is. Out comes a fend.
You're the 2, yep.
But Donahue, no way of letting that guy score. Impressive line break, showing good turn of pace.
Suspicion of a squint throw from Blameyer, and it has been picked up.
We have to referee it because there's a pod in the air, so it is a contest. Line or scrum? Scrum. Scrum.
Line-out's been a bit of a problem for Newcastle today. They've coughed up a couple. That one squint from Jamie Blameyer. Scott McLeod is their line-out coach, who returned to the club this year, having not been required by Alex Codling, who was head coach last season. And the stats have steadily improved. They're only a couple of percentage points below Bath's return of 85% on their own throw, but there's still that niggling doubt about the Falcons at set-piece time. And against a team as accomplished as Bath, even missing some of their leading lights, can't give away too many of those.
Say again? Yeah, sure.
Scrum in this part of the field now becomes a bit of a game of chess. Obviously Newcastle full back in the bin. There's going to be space somewhere on the field. Bath just need to try and work out where it is. Is it down the middle of the park? How hard are these Newcastle wingers going to work defensively to cover at the space that Lewis Brown has left behind? Defensively, Newcastle probably need to be a bit softer. Can you work your way to an edge, then kick to find space? Lots of options on the table. They've just got to be as smart as possible. Pick the right one.
Bath so formidable in all competitions, particularly so in their own backyard. We mentioned before, 8 wins in a row, 11 of their past 12. They've lost 4 times at home in 2 years. Leicester, Saracens, Bristol and La Rochelle, the only teams to claim the spoils at the Rec the past couple of seasons. Of course, Premiership finalists last term, lost narrowly to Northampton Saints after Beno Abano was sent off early in the showpiece match, but they will be absolutely unerring in their belief that they can do it all this year. And still in the Challenge Cup as well, off to Edinburgh next Saturday in the semi-finals with a spot at Principality Stadium in Cardiff at the end of May on the line, and the possibility of a tantalising treble still dangling in the air for Bath.
Much majority of teams in the Premiership play. Got a sense it's only really Sale that could challenge them on their day, perhaps at a neutral venue. Just got to hope their key players stay fit going into the business end. Right, where are Bath going to attack?
They want the scrum advantage here. They have such an impressive shunt. Newcastle hold them this time. Redpath back in the action, straight into Brett Connon. Front foot ball for Bath, dangerous ball for Bath. Here's Donoghue with that pace again. He's cut them to ribbons. Connon recovers well, but Bath 10 metres out. Underhill, what a burst that is! Unstoppable. And is that the try that puts top spot in the bag for Bath?
Fantastic line, the power, the damage is done. We talk about Newcastle having to be soft. This is probably a little bit too soft. Don't want to be conceding 20-30 metres. And it's this man again, into out. Donoghue with a line break. Emmons probably wants the ball, but he's there in support. Good clean row. Look at this line. Underhill, stop me. Knocking Sebastian de Chavez over. Very hard to defend. A man of that power, coming at that pace, blindsided. That out to in line. Hard to defend after a line break.
15.
Great sight, seeing ball carriers like him in full flow after a line break or dents, just coming back against the grain. That's where you're going to get most traction.
Another successful goal from Donoghue, 31 points to 19, and perhaps the try that takes things beyond Newcastle. It's the sort of line you might have run back in the day, Jamie. Out to
just watching
ferocious dynamism that take you all the way back.
Yeah, I used to light up when your outside backs make a line break and you got some width and you can see the defenders backtrack and they're all looking at the ruck. That is where they're vulnerable to that line. You kind of blindside the defender. Used to love running those lines.
Matthew Barbary loses another restart, and Oscar Usher scoops it up for Newcastle, who have a knock-on advantage. Lockwood might go through Van Fake and Roux.
No issue with a turnover, we go back for the knock-on. It's back over here, yeah. Scrum will be here, no advantage because that would have been holding off. Knock-on.
One of those afternoons, isn't it? Sometimes it's against you. Barbary,
played away, yeah.
Second one he's dropped now, but
just make sure the first action's forward.
Nothing you can do.
There we go,
Just
lads.
play on.
Thank you.
It's probably an easier one than the first one. Bit more pressure on in that time. It's Alex Hurl putting on pressure off the kickoff. Always see that from your wingers. You want that from your wingers for that exact reason.
Bath especially strong in the second half of Premiership matches this season. Conceded only 11 tries after the interval in 14 matches in the league. It's an astonishingly good record. Shows the influence of their bench, the staying power they have, the depth of talent Johan van Graan has assembled. They are so hard to overcome in the latter stages. Newcastle need another try for a bonus point of their own. Long-awaited back-to-back bonus points. Chick has a rev. Stewart into Hurl. Quinn Roux is offside. Penalty advantage. It's not given to Newcastle. There was a call from the assistant referee. I don't think Craig Maxwell Keys heard him, or felt that Quinn Roux was legal.
Yes, please. Up.
Newcastle will be disappointed with that. Alex Hill with a lovely talk about coming back against the grain when the defences are set. It's a really nice line. I think it's Quinn Roux just scrags him and he knocks the ball on. That is a shocker.
Bath going wide, but not with any accuracy, and McConaughey scragged on his own line. Redpath and Donoghue recover well.
Use the ball. No time.
Carr Smith gets there at the base and sticks it into touch. Now then, have a gander at what's about to come rumbling onto this lush green paddock here. Not Tom Carr Smith, not Sammy Arnold, who is ready for action for Newcastle, but down beneath us,
let's go.
7 Bath substitutes.
Time's off.
The Bath bomb squad.
Yeah, no, we've got time off. Send them all on. We'll look it out.
And now we've got to choreograph who's coming off.
Bath 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 8.
On they come, the magnificent 7. And listen to the wreck. This is how Johan van Graan loves to use his bench. He picks a 6-2 split and he unleashes them, unshackles them, uncages them all at once. Finn Russell at the heart of the Bruisers. He'd missed just 5 minutes of Prem action coming into this match. He's on to steer them home and steer them to top spot. But just to box this off, Tom Dunn, Thomas du Toit, Archie Griffin, Josh Bayliss, Guy Pepper, Finn Russell and young Keputui Polotu all on. Once I've got my fingers out, we'll figure out who's come off.
It's the first time we call Finn Russell a bruiser. I've never heard a commentator call him that.
He's a tough stonemason from Stirling, Jamie.
He's Scottish, that's all that counts.
Here come Newcastle, albeit 40 yards further back than they were. Connan's floater to Herl. Sammy Arnold was up the outside. Herl through the dummy into Tom Dunn. Stewart, Blameyer. Chip calls for it down the short side. Shoveled it on to Connan, and then Stevenson. Back inside to Herl. Bath scrambling with skill. And winning the turnover. They've done the Falcons on the ground again. And Thomas the Tank introduces himself to Falcons. Here's Russell's torpedo. Plenty of unguarded pasture back there. And Emmons is tearing after it. Controls on the instep. Emmons! What about the grounding? He doesn't think he's got there.
Field, no try. Check restart. Peter, did you get that?
Touch first, yeah.
Yep, fair. So on field, no try. Just establishing a restart, please.
I think that ball hits the white line. 50-22.
There as the ball is in touch. So there's a 50-22, yes.
Okay.
It's a pretty decent outcome for Bath, this.
So it's no try. It's a 50-22. Their line out.
It's not a try, but Bath will throw him to the line out just inside the Newcastle 22 and look to pile on the punishment.
Good gap there. Thank you, lads. Tom on. It's in the 5. It's over.
Here's Tom Dunn. Polotu riding side saddle. Smith to Ewells. One of the few starting forwards still with us. Skræder fresh off the bench to Guy Pepper. It's a Newcastle Falcon. He can move over the summer to the West Country. Du Toit. This has a feeling of inevitability about it. Pepper into his old buddies. Huge clean out coming. Hill has a shot. Bath 3 metres from northeast pay dirt. They'll shift it wide. Russell loves these positions. Donahue, and Emmons gets his try this time. Bath flexing their muscles and pulling away from the brave Falcons.
Too easy. Obvious tactic, wasn't it? The pick and go right through this Newcastle defence, especially when you brought on that much firepower off the bench. Great space to win, simple execution. Fixed defenders, too much pace. Emmons to go over in the corner, but the damage was done up front. Look at the quality coming off the bench. Pepper, Thomas du Toit, relentless on the advantage line, sucking in defenders. Space to width, get the ball there. Bath have been a formidable at this year, especially under Finn Russell.
Top point scorer in the Premiership, can't add to his tally of 144 points this occasion, but Bath with a handsome lead. 17 points to the good, and still roughly a quarter of the match to go.
I'll get the ball.
Double sub from Newcastle Falcons. Jamie Lamire taking off for Ollie Fletcher, and Max Pepper, elder brother by a little over a year to Guy, comes on to play against his little brother. Not that Guy's particularly little, for the very first time. Nice moment for the Pepper clan.
Cheers, mate.
Kepitui Polotu, one of the brightest young talents in English rugby, rocks Adam Brocklebank. Redpath, Russell, the Rolls Royce in action, and Bath going from deep. This is Donoghue. Oh, he's left them all trailing. They're flooding through the middle. Butts on the inside. Donoghue wants it himself, and then tees up Evans. Brilliant, brilliant Bath. The gilded fingers of Finn Russell. The fearless youth of Austin Evans and Kieran Donoghue delivering killer blows once again.
It's already being checked. I don't need to shout about it, thank you.
Not quite sure what Will Butt has done to Kieran Donoghue. He hasn't passed him twice this game. Look at this, the damage is done. Great squaring up on the ball, Will Butt. This is Donoghue does the damage again.
Tackles the wrong player.
Show and go. Here we are. Will Butt is walking this in. Nah, got myself.
Being looked at.
Evans on the offload.
We haven't kick-off, so back you go.
It's twice Will Butt could have scored. Donoghue hasn't given him the ball. Buy him a beer later.
Yeah, time's off, mate. There's an injury, so you've got plenty of time to box it off.
Austin Evans was playing third 15 rugby not so very long ago. Now he's a Premiership player, a Premiership try scorer.
Time's off.
2 tries for the former Great Britain Sevens international, and Bath fast approaching the half-century mark. In amongst all that, another injury to tell you about. Connor Doherty is hurt and being helped off by the Newcastle medical staff.
It's already been
Ollie
checked,
Spencer,
so my view was he just gets the wrong player, and that's
former
put back to
England
the
age
team.
grade centre, is on to replace him in the midfield. And with 20 minutes to play, we're about where Newcastle tend to find themselves. Average away score this season in the league, 44-17 defeat. Worrying thing from a Falcons perspective is Bath don't look finished here. Not by a long way. Will Butt having a crack at Lockwood. Underhill in support. Redpath is on his right. Underhill takes the contact. Screder, Russell. You give him front foot ball and good things tend to happen. But then the pass from Donoghue to Butt. First time Donoghue's passed the poor old Will Butt, and it's gone forwards.
His first mistake all game. Such an influence on this game. Great offload, Will Butt. Underhill there, flat support line. Watch how flat Finn Russell takes his ball. Coming onto the ball. Yeah, it's not just forward, it's a couple of minutes forward. Such an assured performance in this man. All the skill set. He's got physical attributes to back it up. He's big, rangy, good handoff, good sidestep, good pace to burn. Real silky way about him. Oh, fantastic match.
What's it like, Jamie, as a young player when you're coming into a team of Galacticos, a team in the groove? You must psychologically be so energised by the environment you're coming into. Yes, there's pressure, there's always going to be pressure, but it's such a great position for a young player to come in, to go and express themselves.
Interesting, I was here a couple of weeks ago, his performance against Gloucester in the European Challenge Cup quarter-final. We chat to Ben Spencer after the game about him and Finn Russell being the older heads amongst that young backline. Bear in mind, Ollie Lawrence is injured now, so, you know, outside of 10, it is a young backline. You know, Cam Redpath, yes, experienced player. Ruairi McConaughey, been around quite a while. You know, certainly sevens before turning his arm to 15, been around a while, experienced head. But apart from that, it's a very, very young backline. So you get your opportunity in this backline. How exciting, right? You know, the enthusiasm of youth, the energy of youth, risk taken, have a go. I'm sure Johan van Graan backs these lads to play what they see.
Newcastle penalty this time.
Drops going forward. That goes round on the mark. It stays on the mark and goes round. Go forward.
Of course, that enthusiasm of youth is managed by the experience at 9 and 10. They're the decision makers. You know, certainly in Bath's first 15, Spencer and Russell pulling the strings. There's a young player coming in, just playing what you see, bringing your strengths to this back line. You know, Kieran Donaghy has been a standout player today, there's no doubt about that.
Newcastle going quickly. Sammy Arnold over the top. Pepper and Cam Neill. Arnold. Newcastle on the bonus point trail themselves here. And Spencer spins out of one tackle. Fletcher. I imagine he'll be a key player for Newcastle next season with Jamie Maguire moving to Leicester. De Chavez popping it up neatly to Sammy Arnold. Couldn't release the men outside him.
He's not affecting the play of the ball, there's no 9 there.
De Chavez again.
Not a second go.
Conan just looking for runners. Herald neatly into Stevenson. Oh, covered by Louis Hennessy. Going onto the ball very quickly. Has he done enough to steal it? Not quite. Newcastle possession. Fields. Back to the short side. Stevenson on his feet again. Arnold getting around Hennessy. Inside to Herald. Big fend, but Guy Pepper will hold him up. Herald looks to throw it away. He might have given it straight to Guy Pepper.
There's the ball. Your players is just as much lying on top of it.
Newcastle cling on to it. Good continuity this from the Falcons. Much needed continuity. Bit of control and game management here. Arnold, thumping collision. Pepper, Niels, Charlie Ewells leaning into the shot. Usher, the young man.
Straight on the ball, not the ground past it.
Come off the bench, Guy Pepper. So many involvements, such an impressive player. Just watching him play a Camden for the last 30 seconds, just watching how many involvements he makes and impacts. Just that enthusiasm off the bench has worked against him. Just puts his hands on the floor, which he can't do. He's got to go on the ball.
Yeah, straight on it. I thought you went past. Yes.
Some conjecture over Guy Pepper's situation, not his move to Bath, but the compensation Newcastle and Steve Diamond certainly feel Bath owe the club. Development fee for bringing him through as a young player. That's all to be decided by the RFU, but Newcastle feel they are over a 5-figure sum and are waiting for the payment. At the moment, nothing doing from that maul. Bath taking Newcastle shots and absorbing the blows.
It's a Newcastle breakaway, Blue steal the ball. It's an absolute mess from the previous phase. Blue ball.
Front peel didn't work that time.
Time off, please. You need it for the
Bath have learned from minute 39.
Good comms, Gareth. Thank you, mate.
There's no weakness there this time.
Look at Archie Griffin with his trademark mullet. Fully capped Wales international, Australia born to a Welsh family. Spent a lot of his childhood in Singapore before moving back to the UK.
When you hand it back,
progressing through the pathway here.
There's not a clear shift.
Became a Welsh international last year. And what a couple of players he's got to learn from, Jamie, with Thomas Dutoy, Will Stewart,
it's really hard to tell.
Francois van Veek, Benoit Bano, all in that propping cohort. He gets to come on and contribute.
Incredible place to learn a trade in one of the most kind of technically demanding and brutal positions on the rugby field, right? Tight head prop. Worth their weight in gold. He's a supreme talent. Archie Griffin has shown that at test level for Wales as well.
Please, lads.
No doubt he's going to be part of that test setup for the foreseeable. Certainly this World Cup cycle, if not the next two perhaps.
Ricky Newcastle has come on for Adam Brocklebank in the Newcastle front row.
Set!
And that front row, unsurprisingly, decimated.
Loose head goes to ground. Sorry, so
He's not called Thomas the Tank for nothing. Have a look at the shape on him.
Replacement. Spot on, thank you. Thank you. They've gone fine.
Bath going quickly to the front. Griffin away to Tui Palotu. Moves with such poise and dynamism. Effortless carrying. Russell sends it wide. Leave gaps at your peril. Emmons. He's playing on the wing now with Donahue dropping back to the full-back role. Skreeder. Russell.
Stay in front and move back.
Chasing Newcastle back. Chasing Stevenson back. Stevenson wants to run here. He's sizing up Donahue. Archie Griffin gets to grips with him. Important tackle that.
Let go. It's under Five's leg as well.
Usher. Arnold. A little bit fast and loose. Arnold running down a blind alley.
So challenging for Newcastle now. You're absolutely knackered. It's minute 67. You're down a player.
17, not from there.
You're down 43-19. You don't want to be running from here.
Yes, please.
You know, kit to compete in the air, hope to win the scraps. That's the only way you've got to stop in this Bath side, being absolutely relentless.
Evans wins that duel. And Bath quickly moving, seeing space out wide. Russell flattened by Arnold behind the game line, but watch Bayliss, he's got wheels. And off he motors, beautiful hands to Hennessy. Hennessy against Spencer, too quick, Pepper won't get near him. Horse corner becomes Hennessy corner for one night only. A supersonic finish for one of Bath Rugby's shooting stars.
Josh Bayliss with the magic. And the wheels on Hennessy to finish it. And Welshman, I think Bath have kind of messed this up, but with a lovely hands of Bayliss here, the pace, hand off, gets his hands free. Flat pass, and this is just wheels.
Finn. Thank you.
Ollie Spencer with no chance.
Happy with the time as well, yeah?
Shown a real good turn of pace, but it's Bayliss with the magic. Dive to finish.
Russell's kick-off targets. Bath 2 points short of 50, and Louis Hennessy, his 8th try for the club. He got 5 in the Prem Cup. Josh Bayliss, what a piece of weaponry to bring off the bench. His all-court running game. And Hennessy, never likely to be caught. No Will Muir today. Hennessy finishing just like the horse.
Thank you, Thomas. Please. Is the guy in goal the person that's been changed, Simon, or not?
Newcastle have taken off their captain. Callum Chick's day is done. Ollie Leatherbarrow, formerly of Exeter Chiefs and the Scotland Tunties, has come on to replace him.
No worries.
What have Newcastle got left in reserve? What have Bath got in the way of more punishment?
Not now.
UPCR Challenge Cup semi-final in the Scottish capital next weekend against Edinburgh for Bath. And it's a West Country derby at Bristol before they take on Leicester and Saracens to finish the regular season. Whatever happens in those remaining 3 league matches, Bath will finish top of the standings.
He'll be the 9.
Nobody can catch them now.
It's on the 5. You know where he is.
And it will take some performance
You set your gap.
to beat them in the playoffs.
They can't move backwards off the mark I've given them.
Usher at the front. Pepper to Conan. And kneeled into Leatherbarrow. Impactful introduction from the new man.
Advantage.
Penalty Newcastle.
I've no issue if the tackle is still there. So can't go after with Alding 17 with 23 the wrong side when he goes on the ball.
When Johan van Graan took charge of Bath, summer of 2022, Bath had finished bottom of the league. He had 34 points from 24 Gallagher Premiership games. In 2025, they're top of the pile. They're about to move on to 66 points from 15 games. The structure, the turnaround, the methodical and process-driven way of this Bath revolution, so compelling. Will it have a silver lining? We'll find out in the next 6 weeks or so. In the meantime, Newcastle still chasing that try-bonus point. A little feather in the cap for them at the home of the league leaders. Spencer breaking off on his own. Fletcher, rather. Pepper and Lockwood. Dutoy gets to him and holds him up.
Held up, we go back for the penalty. We're going back for the penalty. Up.
It's a great carry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bath do a great job of holding it up. It's the line, the pace at which he runs onto the ball.
Yeah, I called it as the same more. I can see why he thought it was open play. Line again.
Newcastle will reload and go again here. They don't have a game next weekend for the European semi-finals. They're away to Saracens on the 10th of May. Then it's Gloucester at home, Leicester Tigers on the road to finish off another challenging season. But a season at least that has delivered a couple of wins so far.
Stationary.
That has brought about some positivity. It's still a long, dark road for the Falcons to navigate. Fletcher, good leg drive, but Bayliss too strong. Pepper and Leatherbarrow. Lockwood still working hard, still punching holes.
Stay out, thank you.
Leatherbarrow again. Dunn deals with him. Arnold. One out carries. Sammy Arnold is muscular, but Tom Dunn hammers him. Neil from a standing start. The line speed from this Bath defence just pouring cold water all over the Newcastle Flames. Leatherbarrow again. Power through the contact this time. Lockwood's come a long way to receive it. Bath saw him coming. Pepper. Nobody's down the right-hand side. Skræder holds him. Yules holds him. Herlin at scrum half. Fletcher.
Okay,
penalty advantage Newcastle. High tackle on Max Pepper
advantage.
in that previous phase.
High.
Lockwood, his third carry of this set, and they'll need the penalty.
Over here, it's not you. It's a high tackle. Just like the one down there that starts low, slips up. High.
So hard to break down this Bath defence, is it? You need tip passes, you need a bit of intricacy.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're
what's
just
going
to hit
on
one man and expect him to dent across the advantage line against such a well-organised and powerful defence. You need a bit of intricacy. You need 2 or 3 players come to the line at the same time. You need deception.
Okay, lads.
That tip pass on the advantage line, players at the back in motion. That was just one-up rugby, and against the best defence in the Premiership, it ain't going to fly.
5. He's held at the front.
Ticking into the final 5 minutes.
He's
Newcastle
2
once
metres
again
at the
camped
front. He's 2 metres
Bath
at the
try
front.
line. The Chavez claims unchallenged this time.
Thank you.
Newcastle look to work them all. Bath hold
The
firm.
same all, everyone's still bound. Now he breaks away.
Out it comes.
Release it to
Lockwood's on it.
tackle.
6 breaks away.
Typically with the tackle. Conan ripping the pass away. Ollie Spencer can't get away from Emmons, and Russell's in there too. Conan, pace of Bayliss coming up so quickly, covering 2 men, but he's going to be done for offside here. Pepper, a lot of grey shirts off to the left. Kneeled. Conan, pass checks Stevenson, attempts to grubber it through. Russell picks it up, and there's a yellow card coming for Josh Bayliss. Offside and a deliberate knock on. It's the 4th card of the day.
You're on 5, lads. It's 5, yeah.
Newcastle have had a few forays down the right touchline. Now they have a crack up the left as the final 3 minutes approach. Taking on the 14 men of Bath, the 7-man pack of Bath. Have they got the answer to a stubborn defensive effort? They've got 12 players in here, Newcastle. Is it enough to tip the scales in their favour? Not initially, it's not. Incredible maul D from Bath. Possibly a hand in there from Kepi Tuipulotu. It is going to be given.
We're not going quick. We're not going quick.
Sir? Is that quite cynical? I thought it
was a good counter-ruck, and they've just got a bit greedy at the end.
Right, Jamie, a couple of minutes to play. Gallagher Premiership Player of the Match. Who've you gone for?
Yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable performance of Bath. All-court performance, despite a resilient Newcastle side in the first half. Sam Underhill really effective game alongside that man on his right, Will Stewart. Great forward pack, but hard to look past this guy for Player of the Match. Kieran Donahue has been at the heart of everything good about Bath this afternoon. Line breaks, attacking prowess, offloading ability, silky smooth running, pace to finish tries. Superb performance. He is our Player of the Match.
Newcastle looking for one last hurrah. Still Bath hold them at bay. Ball is cocooned in there somewhere. It's not going to come out. And Sam Arnold, I think, is penalised for his outburst at the referee. And not only that, he's going to be marched a further 10 metres. Just not happening for the Falcons. Story of their season. Bath gobbling up another few seconds, marching towards the line out. Everybody inside the right knows. They know this result has not been in doubt for quite some time. Bath looking to add the exclamation point to an emphatic win, but Tuipulotu running an obstruction line out of Cam Redpath.
In front, takes out the tackler.
And in fact, it'll be Newcastle who have the last little flurry of the game.
Tuipulotu just gets a little bit too tight, doesn't he? Just has to be a bit wider, allow Cam Redpath just to bounce out a little bit. Just crowds him a little bit, overruns it as well. Gets his timing wrong. It's done for obstruction.
It was your ball. I'm not. Time with me, mate. Yep.
Last play of the match. Have Newcastle got what it takes to leave Bath with something? Usher wins the line out. Fletcher's peeling off. Arnold, perhaps feeling a sense of injustice. Kneeled, opted not to throw the pass. Conan, ploughing a lone furrow. Usher, upended, big shot coming in from Kepu Tuipulotu. Arnold again, pulling it back neatly to Conan, who straightens, tosses it over the top to Hurl. Officials happy that wasn't forward. Max Pepper, Mickey Newcastle. Arnold, loose bobbling pass taken by Lockwood. Hurdles Tom Dunn, smacked by Griffin. Bath mitts on that. Guy Pepper gets in there. Penalty Bath. Game over.
I thought you'd come up with the ball. There you go.
Or is it? Louis Scrudder says let's play, boys. And why not? Finn Russell's gallivanting. Back it goes to Donoghue. Redpath. Emmons is on a hat-trick. Redpath puts his foot down. Goliath crushes Davids. Bath march on, and top spot secured by a swallow diving Scotsman.
Finn Russell with a line break. Tight unders line, just delays his path. Can Redpath, too much gas. Emmons thinks he could have passed him. Redpath owes him another beer later. Great finish, Redpath just caps off a sublime attacking performance by this Bath team. Too much quality, too much pace, too much skill, executing under pressure.
Top spot in the Gallagher Premiership secured emphatically. A second half Bath blitz at the wreck. Far too hot for the Falcons to handle. And more reasons for optimism, if any was needed. The emergence, the continued emergence of this rump of burgeoning young talent, spearheaded today by Louis Hennessy and by our player of the match, Kieran Donoghue. A Premiership debut to savour and cherish for the young playmaker, and another proud day for Bath Rugby. They will finish at the top of the pile. They will have home advantage in the Gallagher Premiership playoffs. They have won a 9th match in a row. They have thrashed Newcastle by 55 points to 19.